Imagine a place where the air itself seems to swallow sound. A place where the radio in your car dies, your compass spins like a top, and the stars feel close enough to touch, but far more menacing. Deep in the Mapimí Desert in Mexico, there's a patch of land where the laws of physics seem to take a vacation. They call it La Zona del Silencio, the zone of silence. From falling NASA rockets to strange Nordic visitors who walk the sands without water, this isn't just a local legend. It's a documented geographical anomaly that has baffled scientists for decades. Before we cross the border into the unknown, if you're fascinated by the cases that science can't explain and the mysteries beyond our contact, hit that subscribe button right now. Join our community of seekers and turn on notifications so you never miss a journey into the unexplained. You won't want to miss what's coming next. To understand the weight of this mystery, we must first look at the geography of the Chihuahuan Desert. This is a desolate, unforgiving landscape, yet it holds a secret that predates human civilization. Millions of years ago, this entire region was submerged under the Tethys Sea. When the waters receded, they left behind a seabed rich with fossils and, more importantly, a soil heavily concentrated with magnetite and other metallic minerals. It is as if the Earth here is one giant, dormant machine. The story of the zone's modern mystery officially began in the 1930s with an aviator named Francisco Sarabia. He was a pioneer of Mexican aviation, a man not easily rattled. Yet, while flying over this specific patch of the Mapimí, he reported that his radio went completely dead and his instruments began to fluctuate wildly, as if an invisible force was tugging at the aircraft's soul. He coined the term the Zone of Silence, but at the time, people dismissed it as a mechanical fluke. Everything changed in July 1970. This is the smoking gun of the zone's history. The United States Air Force launched an Athena R-12 rocket from Green River, Utah. The target was the White Sands Missile Range in New Mexico. Under normal circumstances, this was a routine ballistic test. However, as the rocket reached its peak altitude, something impossible happened. It didn't just drift off course. It performed a sharp, uncalculated turn and plummeted hundreds of miles south, crossing the international border into Mexico and slamming into the heart of the Mapimí Desert. The rocket was carrying 2 containers of cobalt-57, a highly radioactive isotope. The panic that ensued was massive. The U.S. government sent a specialized recovery team to locate the debris, but they found that their equipment was useless. Their radios couldn't broadcast, and their tracking devices were scrambled. They had to build a temporary base and even a specialized railway just to extract the contaminated soil. It was during these weeks of recovery that the American scientists realized they weren't just dealing with a crash. They were standing in a natural anomaly that shouldn't exist. Why did the rocket turn? Some scientists suggest that the high concentration of magnetite in the mountains of the zone creates a localized magnetic, that can pull at metallic objects moving through the upper atmosphere. Think of it like a magnet pulling a needle. If the Earth is a living organism, the Zone of Silence is a point where its nervous system is exposed. Interestingly, if you look at a map of the world, the Zone of Silence sits exactly on the 27th parallel north. If you follow that line across the globe, you will find the Bermuda Triangle and the Great Pyramids of Giza. Many researchers believe these locations are part of a planetary grid, or vortices, areas of intense electromagnetic activity where the fabric of our reality is thinner than elsewhere. But the silence isn't just about radio waves. It's about the life that lives there. The animals in the Zone of Silence have undergone strange evolutionary shifts. There is the bull-sown tortoise, a creature that looks like it belongs in the prehistoric era. It is the largest land reptile in North America and is found only in this specific desert. Locals claim these tortoises exhibit behavior seen nowhere else, almost as if they are sensitive to the ground's vibrations. Even the plants are different. The prickly pear cactus, common across Mexico, grows here in a purple hue and often takes on twisted, spiraling shapes that defy standard botany. Some believe this is due to the magnetic pull of the Earth, while others point to the radioactive remnants of the 1970 rocket crash. Perhaps the most haunting aspect of the zone is the human element. For decades, travelers have reported encounters with the Nordic beings. These aren't your typical gray aliens with big eyes. Witnesses describe them as exceptionally tall, strikingly beautiful men and women with long blonde hair and glowing skin. They wear tight-fitting, one-piece jumpsuits that look like they are made of silk. One of the most famous accounts comes from a couple, Ernesto and Josefina Diaz. They were driving through the zone to collect unusual rocks when a sudden, violent rainstorm turned the desert floor into a mud trap. Their truck was buried up to the axles. Out of the darkness and the pouring rain, 3 tall men appeared. They didn't have umbrellas or rain gear, yet they didn't seem bothered by the storm. Without uttering a single word, they placed their hands on the back of the heavy truck and pushed it out of the mud with the ease of someone pushing a toy car. When Ernesto stepped out of the cab to offer them money or a ride, the men were gone. The horizon was flat and empty. There were no tracks in the mud other than the truck's tires. It was as if they had materialized from the air and vanished back into it. This leads us to the meteorite magnet theory. In 1969, just a year before the Athena rocket incident, a massive meteorite known as the Allende meteor fell in the zone. It is one of the most significant space rocks ever found because it contains white inclusions, minerals that are older than the Earth, older than the Sun, and older than our entire solar system. It is as if the Zone of Silence acts as a beacon for cosmic debris. Over the years, dozens of smaller meteorites have been found in this small patch of land, far more than in the surrounding desert. This suggests that the magnetic anomaly isn't just a surface phenomenon. It extends far into the thermosphere, acting as a giant vacuum cleaner for objects passing by in space. Compare this to the Nevada Triangle or the Bridgewater Triangle in the United States. In those places, planes disappear and lights are seen in the sky. But in the Zone of Silence, the mystery is heavy, is grounded in the earth. Locals talk about the lights of Mapimí, spheres of glowing energy that dance across the desert floor at night. These aren't just swamp gas or reflections. They have been seen following vehicles and even hovering over the homes of ranchers. One rancher, who lived in the zone for 40 years, claimed that the lights once surrounded his house, and for 3 hours, time seemed to stop. When the lights left, his watch was 3 hours behind, but his radio, which had been broken for a decade, suddenly started playing music from a station thousands of miles away. The Zone of Silence challenges our understanding of connectivity. In a world where we are always on, always connected by 5G satellites and fiber optics, the existence of a place that rejects these signals is a terrifying thought. It reminds us that there are still dead spots on the map, places where the human ego and human technology hold no power. Is it a secret underground base? Is it a natural geological quirk? Or is it, as many ancient cultures believed, a gateway? The Aztecs and the tribes that came before them spoke of sacred ground in the north where the sky spoke to the earth. Perhaps they knew something we have forgotten. As we look at the data, the Athena rocket, the Allende meteorite, the Nordic visitors, and the absolute radio silence, we are forced to ask, what is the true purpose of this place? Some theorists suggest that the Zone of Silence is a recharging station for unidentified craft, using the magnetite in the soil to replenish their energy. This would explain why the Nordic beings are so often seen near the mountain ranges, and why the lights seem to feed off the ground. Others believe it is a natural phenomenon that we simply don't have the math to explain yet, a ripple in the Earth's magnetic field caused by the ancient collision of a massive iron-rich asteroid millions of years ago. Whatever the truth may be, the Zone of Silence remains one of the most compelling mysteries on our planet. It is a place where you can stand in total isolation, knowing that even if you screamed into a radio, no one would hear you. It is a place where the stars don't just twinkle, they pulse. If you ever find yourself in northern Mexico, traveling through the state of Durango, you might feel the urge to see it for yourself. But be warned, the desert does not give back what it takes. If you lose your way, if your compass fails, and if the silence becomes too loud, You might find yourself in a place where contact is no longer a choice, but an inevitability. The mystery of Mapimí is far from over. Even today, satellite imagery of the region often comes back blurred or with data artifacts that NASA cannot explain. It is as if the Earth itself is keeping a secret, protecting a piece of its heart from the prying eyes of the modern world. We are guests on this planet, and the Zone of Silence is a stark reminder that there are still rooms in this house that we are not allowed to enter. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the desert's most chilling secret. If you have your own theories about what is happening in the Zone of Silence, or if you've ever experienced a dead zone yourself, share your story in the comments below. We read every one of them. For more cases of the unexplained, the mysterious, and the beyond, stay tuned to our next investigation. The truth is out there, but sometimes it prefers to stay silent.